All right, I'm in the private oral exam guide. I'm in Chapter 2, Weather. This will be Section B on 2-10, Obtaining Weather Information. What is the primary means of obtaining a weather briefing? Primary source is an individual briefing obtained from a briefer at the AFSS, FSS. These briefings, which are tailored to your specific flight, are available 24 hours a day through the use of a toll-free number, 1-800-WX-BRIEF. What are some examples of other sources of weather information? Telephone information briefing services, TIPS, and AFSS. Weather and aeronautical information available from numerous private industry sources. Direct user access terminal system, the DUATS, can be accessed by pilots with a current medical certificate, toll-free in the 48 contiguous states via personal computer. In Alaska, transcribed weather broadcasts and telephone access to the T-Web. That's the tel-tweb. Where can you find a listing of AFS, FSS, and weather information numbers? Numbers of these services can be found in the airport facility directory under the FAA and NWS telephone numbers section. They are also listed in the U.S. government section of the local telephone directory. What types of weather briefings are available from an AFSS, FSS briefer? Standard briefing. Request when you are planning a flight and you have not received a previous briefing or have not received preliminary information through mass dissemination media, TIBS, T-Web, and Alaska only, etc. Abbreviated briefing request when you need information to supplement mass disseminated data, update a previous briefing, or when you need only one or two items. Outlook briefing. Request whenever your proposed time of departure is 6 or more hours from the time of the briefing for planning purposes only. In-flight briefing. Request when needed to update a pre-flight briefing. What pertinent information should a weather briefing include? Adverse conditions, VFR flight not recommended, synopsis, current conditions, en route forecast, destination forecast, winds aloft, notices to airmen, and ATC delay. Pilots may obtain the following from FSS briefers upon request: information on special use airspace, SUA, and special use airspace related airspace including alert areas, MOAs, MTRs, IFR, VFR, VR, and SR training routes. Warning areas and ATC assigned airspace, ATC-AA. A review of your printed NOTAM publication, approximate and density altitude data, information on air traffic services and rules, custom immigration procedures, ADIS rules, search and rescue, LORAN, sea and military NOTAMs, runway friction measurement value NOTAMs, GPS RAIM availability, and other assistance as required. Wow, that's pretty good. What is EFAS? En route flight advisory service. EFAS is a service specifically designed to provide en route aircraft with timely and meaningful weather advisories pertinent to the type of flight intended, route of flight, and altitude. In conjunction with the service, EFAS is also a central collection and distribution point for pilot reported weather information, PRIPs. EFAS provides communication capabilities for aircraft flying at 5,000 feet above ground level to 17,500 feet MSL on a common frequency 122.0 megahertz. It's also known as Flight Watch. Flight Watch, EFAS. What is HIWAS? Hazardous In-Flight Weather Advisory Service. HIWAS is a continuous broadcast of in-flight weather advisories, including summarized aviation weather warnings, SIGMETs, convective SIGMETs, center weather advisories, airments, and urgent PIREPs. HIWAS is an additional source of hazardous weather information which makes this data available on a continuous basis. Nav aids with HIWAS capability are depicted on sectional carts, not charts, with an H in the upper right corner of the identification box where implemented. HIWAS alerts are broadcast on all except emergency frequencies once upon receipt by ARTCC, terminal facilities, and AFSS and FSS. What are HIWAS? Hazardous in-flight weather advisories. What is a flight information service? A FIS and FIS. An FIS is a method of receiving aviation weather and other operational data in the cockpit that augments traditional pilot voice communications with FSS or ATC facilities. It is not intended to replace traditional pilot and controlled FSS pre-flight briefings or in-flight voice communications. Alright, so we'll hold off there before we go into C. Alright, that was section B for chapter 2 weather. We just ended there on 2-12. See ya.